Buckingham Fountain is one of the largest and most famous fountains in the world. Its pitch-perfect blend of art and engineering melds ornate statuary with an elaborate pumping system that features 133 jets circulating up to 14,000 gallons of water a minute. Today, I've been asked to make a house call in the nearby village of Oak Park to help build a slightly more intimate fountain. This beautiful old Victorian has been home for the past 5 years to David and Suzanne Holmes and their children, Katie and Robbie. The view from their second-story balcony is dominated by the side wall of their garage, a perfect location for Buckingham Jr.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
David. With introductions and a snapshot for Suzanne's scrapbook out of the way, we move to the backyard.
Holy cow. Look at that trailer.
Oh,
You like that, huh?
That is a
Do
good
we have
trailer.
enough tools to do this job?
that's terrific.
My carpenter, David Schulte, has arrived with our traveling workshop and has laid out all the materials for this project, including some extras. This is going to form the basis of our fountain right here.
Okay.
These are precast plastic pond liners, some people call them. You guys said you were interested in the sound of cascading water. Mm-hmm. This is designed for that purpose. The water comes in here and then it flows off into the pool
nice.
here. These are some other smaller versions. Yeah. So we can sort of stack these, but
That
we'll
would be
really
nice.
emphasize the waterfall effect of this.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
Our first step is to remove the raspberry bushes growing in front of the garage wall. Now the good news here is that we're digging them out at the roots, and since they're very sturdy, we can replant them in another part of the yard. And I think what we'll do is bring in that big lower pond first.
And just see
Okay.
for size.
See how it fits, yeah.
Great.
Good.
Okay.
You know, I was thinking that it should go against the garage, but I'm thinking outside the box.
Like
Try
this?
that.
This
Yeah.
up against the wall?
Yeah.
How's that?
Is that it? We don't have to lock ourselves into these right now, but I
Okay.
want to just make sure that the bottom one is in a good position for us.
That
do you
looks
think
good.
of that?
That looks
Because
that
I
looks
think it
much
was
better.
too far out
Yeah.
before.
What do you
Right.
think about something also maybe three-tiered? We start up here.
That would be great.
This position's going to work okay for the bottom.
Yeah.
All right? Good. That's what we want to get to. Next, Suzanne outlines the pond liner with chalk. We then dig out the marked area. Since most of the pond liner will remain above ground, we only remove about 3 inches of soil. I've also asked Dave and Suzanne to dig away a few inches along the garage foundation, part of a precautionary step I'd like to take. We've got a wood frame building here. We're going to be having water out here and other materials. I don't want them up against the wood.
Okay.
Great.
So we're going to build a wall, a concrete block wall, between the fountain and the garage here.
Okay.
Suzanne compacts the soil with a tamper. Then Dave follows behind with a bag of leveling sand. That nice thudding sound,
Got it.
that's a good,
Little arm muscles.
yeah.
It's a good workout for you. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm just spreading this out with my
Okay.
hands right now.
Now, do we tamp on this then?
Now we're not going to tamp this.
Okay.
But just level it out with your hands so that you've got about an inch of it. Okay. I'm going to keep this just a couple of inches out from the wall. Wiggling the blocks in the sand helps us level each one. And getting this first course right is critical to making the entire wall level and stable. So we continually check and adjust each block as we move along. Before laying our second course, Suzanne applies a bead of landscape block adhesive. This, along with the fact that we're spanning the joints of the bottom course with each new course, will give the wall its structural integrity. There you go, Dave. Go ahead and drop one down there. With the wall complete, Robbie and Katie give their parents a breather. All right, Katie, Robbie, just sort of spread that around. We want to end up with about 1 inch of sand down here. You know, I noticed on the bag when we opened this up, it said play sand. That doesn't seem right to me, though. I mean, we're not playing, we're working.
But you can use the sand to play.
Oh, it's multi-purpose sand.
Yes.
All right. Okay, spread it as evenly as you can with your hands. Okay, I think you've done a really, really great job. Let's just check it with a level. I'd say you're right on the money there. All right, shall we have Mom and Dad bring the pond liner in? We work the pond liner into the sand, then do a rough check for level. We'll keep checking for level as we add water and the liner settles into the sand. After a final check, we pack sand into the voids around the base of the liner. Now we're going to build a decorative retaining wall around the outside of the pond with these blocks. We start by placing a dozen or so around the liner. Okay, Suzanne, just give it one good wrap there,
Okay.
tuck it underneath. Excellent.
Great.
Now, that's a level line. We'll get to that in just a second. What I've done is taken away those stones that we laid out, replaced them with these little green flags. That's the outside now of our wall.
Okay.
But we also have to make sure that this wall is level. The ground kind of rises up about 2 inches here, which means we're going to have to dig a little bit of dirt way down there.
Okay.
And to do that, we're going to need a special shovel.
Okay.
You know, not all shovels are created equal. Here are 3 that you'll probably use most often in your do-it-yourself gardening and landscape projects. This is called a round point shovel. This is the one you'd want to choose for digging through tough soil, digging holes, and removing larger plants. This one is called a square point shovel. This is great for scooping out loose dirt and shoveling material like sand or mulch. And finally, there's the garden spade, a very straight edge. This is the tool to use to cut through sod and to create perfectly straight lines for edging. So, whatever your job, there's a shovel perfectly suited for it. And the perfect shovel for this job, of course, the spade. We first cut through the sod, defining the outside edge of our wall. Now, what we want to do is kind of just take and we're going to cut back like this and just take some of that dirt right out, sod and all. Yeah, for now. After digging out the sod, we begin setting our stones back in place, adjusting them so that the tops are level with the string. The main thing I want to see how we're keeping about 6 inches here.
Okay.
That's, as long as we have a minimum of that, you're free to pretty much put these wherever you think they're going to look the best. After the first course is in, we apply more of our landscape block adhesive to the top, and then begin setting our second course in place. The lips on the bottoms of the blocks allow them to interlock with each other as they are stacked.
It looks good, man. I'm tired.
Looks really good.
It's been a long day.
Well, I think we made some good progress,
Yeah, we
but I think
did.
we are going to stop for the day. Tomorrow, what I want to do is backfill. That is, put in a material in between the back of these stones and that liner. For
Okay.
a couple reasons. We've got to build this up now so we can put things on top, and also
Okay.
that'll give us our final support
Right, great.
for the pond in there. All right?
Great. Oh, that looks pretty just the way it is. I like that.
I like gravel.
That looks nice.
Next, we cover the gravel with a few inches of sand. All right, we're going to go to the top of the second block. That's
Okay.
right. That's as far as we're going with the sand. Finally, we fill up the remaining space between the wall and liner with bark mulch.
There you go.
Now, this row of stones right here is going to probably serve 2 purposes. It will begin to hide the side of this, and it's going to give us a kind of a platform to put our next pool on. So I think probably can take one more block for you guys there.
That looks good.
Now let's fill this area back here up with some more mulch.
Okay.
Good. Let's try that. Well, there's one thing about water. It always flows downhill and always seeks the path of least resistance. That's a good thing, but you can never be absolutely sure how water is going to flow until you try it out. So that's exactly what we're doing here. We put these in place. We have done nothing permanent yet. Just want to get a sense of how the water is going to flow. As a matter of fact, we're not going to glue these blocks down here. Why? Well, because later on, they could change the configuration and the arrangement of these pools. So we're going to leave those loose and let water take its course. Putting the finishing touches on our upper walls means that we have to cut some full blocks into smaller pieces. David tackles the job with a brick chisel.
Okay, you are the hunter. My caveman.
I'm
breaking
going
some
out
stone.
and getting the food, building the hut, honey.
You gonna gather some berries, or is that my job?
No, that's your job.
That's my
I'm
job.
building the hut here.
I'd really like one of those tools.
All right.
Nice job.
Ron, I got to get one of these tools.
All right, you're through.
Come back
You're
from work
through.
and I do a little of this, I'm all set.
I like it.
You want to see if they got a fit there, buddy?
Yeah, let me see.
All right, well, it's time for the mechanics of our pond here.
Okay.
Pretty simple, actually. Consists of a pump right here and a filter right here. And there are 2 hoses coming out of the filter. You guys have each got one.
All right.
The hoses have to go to these upper ponds right here. So I'm going to just submerge this in the water. Now this is designed to run underwater. It's the wiring and everything in here is designed as a submersible pump, so it's safe.
Electricity, and it's okay.
It is. However, we are
You're
going to...
touching it, not me.
Well, it's not plugged in yet. While I let the pump fill with water, David and Suzanne conceal the hoses by snaking them up through the rocks to the upper ponds. Another reason the pump is safe is right here. We're plugging it into an outlet protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI. The outlet is also housed in a waterproof box. With water flowing, we're down to our final steps. All right, guys, why don't you start putting some plants in?
It's a water lily.
Yeah, that's
Have
great.
it open up and flower in there. Woo! Bye, water lily.
Over here?
Yes, right. No, down.
Right here.
Right there, right there.
Can you hold both of those?
Got them.
I'm gonna get one more.
All right, guys, got the balls in, huh?
Yep. So it's
Great.
pretty.
Here we go.
Looks good.
Swim free. Swim free. Here's one out. There's 2 out. Yay! What I really like is that we got this sort of height that you wanted by using that trellis, that metal trellis work up there in the hanging baskets. I haven't looked at this from inside the house.
It's beautiful. When you look inside, I mean, you're all the way in the kitchen and
it's
you
great.
can see it. You
Yeah.
can see the pond from the kitchen. I was thinking about the back, but you can still see the pond from the kitchen as well. And it's really nice. To hear the water sitting up on the deck is really relaxing.
It's hard to remember all the raspberry bushes that we had here, which were really kind of plains.
Well, thanks to videotape, we can remember. Not bad, really, but our cascading pond has brought not only additional beauty, but also the calming sound of a babbling brook to the backyard. If Suzanne and David ever grow tired of it, they can easily redesign their pond to suit their changing tastes. And that gives our pond a leg up on its famous Chicago cousin.